Hey guys, today I want to show you how to make sugar ribbon flowers. I'm going to show you 3 different types. They're perfect for bridal showers, baby showers, even birthdays. I'm Elisa Strauss and we're mixing it up in the kitchen today. So for the first flower I want to show you today, I use just a threaded pipe. I've rolled out some rose-colored gum paste, and I'm going to just emboss it with this threaded pipe. Then I'm just going to take this 5-petal rose cutter and just cut out a flower. Since I'm gathering all the pieces together, I just want to take out the excess by using the back of a larger pastry tip to take it away. Then what I'm going to do is just lift off each petal and gather it together. That's what's going to give us that nice fabric look. So I'm almost like creating a wave. And then I'm just going to pinch it, and then I can just set them down. And we're going to continue to do that for each petal. I first learned about these ribbon sugar flowers, or sometimes they're called fabric flowers, from Betty Van Nostrum. She's like the queen of cake decorating. Then once you have them all pinched, I'm just going to take some gum glue and I'm going to attach them together. Super simple. Then once they're all attached, I'll just set it down to dry. For the next flower, it's more of a fabric flower. It's kind of the famous silk rose that people do, but here I just took some canvas to put in a nice texture. And so you could use your hand, you could use a fondant smoother to just emboss the design. Then I'm going to flip it over because I want the pattern side down, and I'm just going to cut a nice strip. And the size of the strip you cut will determine how big the flower is. So if you want a tiny, tiny rose, then you're going to cut a shorter strip and narrower strip. This will be kind of like a medium flower. I put the glue, the gum glue, right down the center, and then you're going to just fold down the top edge to the middle. You don't want to go all the way down, and then I'm going to gather it up. And I'm kind of creating these creases with my thumb that really gives it the look of fabric. For the third flower, you don't even have to emboss it if you don't want to. You can always add a texture, but here what I did to make it special is I cut strips just like this, and you can decide how thick or thin you want your ribbons to be. And to make it special, I just added some stitching. And for the stitching, I'm just using a tracing wheel, something that you would buy at a fabric store. Then depending on how large or small you want your loops will determine how big you cut your strips. So I want it kind of like a medium size, so I'll just cut this into thirds. And then to get it all together, you're going to fold the loops like this, so you bring the 2 ends together. And if you want it to be a more rounded ribbon, you can leave it like that, but I like it to really look like kind of like a flattened ribbon, so I just go like that. I just press it down. And for each flower, I use about 5 or 6 loops. So I found the best way to attach all the loops is to just take an extra piece of gum paste and just cut a little center that all the ribbons can attach to. So using our gum glue, we can start by attaching the ribbons. And here I ended up using 6 because it's a little bit larger flower. And you don't have to worry about the center because I'm going to show you some fun ideas to do with that. So again, when I get it all together, and remember, you can make this as elaborate as you want. You can do a second layer, you can make a big one and a small one and attach them together with different colors, just like that. You can have so much fun and versatility with this. It's a great flower. So I'll just put this off to the side here, and I'm going to show you a few centers you can make. So as you know by now, I'm a big fan of marvelous molds. So here I have 3 button molds, just a generic button, a vintage button, and a beautiful beaded button that I use 2 of the kinds on the cake. And this is a fun way to really make any cake come alive. It gives some dimension, and if you're doing a kids party, you may decide to use the kind of basic button. But if you want to make it a little fancier, more for a wedding, you may choose something like the vintage or the beaded button. So let me show you how to use it. Here I just took a little bit of gum paste, and they do work with fondant as well. I just push it into the mold. And so for the beaded mold, I'm going to use a little bit more, and then I just stick it into the mold. And because they're silicone, they usually pop right out, right onto my mat. Whee, there's one. Here's another. Here's the beautiful beaded button, and you can see here's one that's already hardened, and here are some that I've painted with just some gold luster dust. And if you don't know how to paint with luster dust, then just check out one of my other videos where I show that. So let's put it all together. I've let my sugar flowers dry anywhere from a few hours if it's cold and dry in your kitchen to about 24 hours or just overnight. And to stick them to the cake, since I did let them dry, I'm going to just use some stiff royal icing. I'm going to take some royal icing and apply it to the back of my flower. And then I'm going to just stick my flower on. And you want to hold it for a second or two, just make sure that it's set up. And for this flower, what I like to do is just put some pearls with royal icing. It's super easy. For my last ribbon flower, I'm going to go ahead, stick it onto the cake, and then I'm going to put the center button. So just hold it for a second, and then I can choose what button I want to do. So I'll choose one of my beaded buttons. And then I'm just going to push it on. And there you have it. I hope you enjoyed today's episode, and don't forget, all the tools and ingredients I use are listed down below. And don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out on any episode. I'm Elisa Strauss, and we're mixing it up in the kitchen today.